Hey guys, in this video I am going to show you how to sculpt a pink and white French nail using Femme Fatale's really amazing nail putty. Now we have prepped these nails the same way we would do for any kind of enhancement. We are going to dehydrate this nail before we come in with our first base coat. As we know, this system does not need a primer, but as we would do with any kind of nail enhancement, we would always dehydrate this nail first. We're going to pop that in our lamp and we're going to cure it for 30 seconds, and then we are going to come in and we're going to start forming this nail. We're going to take the tab out of our form and place it on the back. We're going to give it a little roll between our fingers and we're going to pinch together those two tabs at the bottom before lining it up with our nail. Now, once we are happy with the position of our form and we know that it's going to fit snugly, we're going to take a little pair of nail scissors and we're going to snip these two little snips right where that natural nail meets that free edge. Once we are happy with the position of our form, we are going to squeeze everything together, make sure everything is nice and secure on the back of those fingers, and then we are going to come in with our Clear Intentions nail putty. We're going to squeeze a little bead out of that tube, we're going to slice it off with our spatula, and then we are just going to roll this onto the nail right where that natural nail meets that form. We're then going to take our brush, we're going to dip it in a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, and we are going to wipe this off on our kitchen roll. We are not using this like monomer. This is purely just to stop your brush sticking to your product. It does not need to be saturated, it is just there purely to stop it sticking. So saturate your brush, wipe it off, and then we are just going to start patting and pressing this into place. We are just creating our free edge at this point. We just want a very nice thin clear base so that we can apply our white on top so that it can cure from both sides. So once we are happy with the shape of our free edge, we are going to make sure everything is nice and thin and nice and smooth, and we're going to pop it in our lamp and we're going to cure it for 30 seconds. Now as soon as this comes out of the lamp, we are going to give it a little pinch just on that free edge that we've built. We're going to turn our pinching tool sideways and pinch that very free edge of that nail. You can pinch this while it's hot. You can't pinch it before it's cured, but you can still pinch it while it is hot. Once we are happy with our pinch, we're just going to remove that form off there, make sure everything is nice and comfy, and then we are going to come in with the colour Innocent. This just happens to be my favourite colour out of the collection. I love it, it's just so pink, it's just so perfect. We're going to slice a little piece of that off and we're going to place it about halfway up that natural nail, and this is what we are going to use to create our smile line. So we're not trying to create the entire nail bed in this bead, but we do want to make sure that we have that smile line nice and smiley, I suppose. We're just going to push it back where it needs to go back, and we're going to make sure everything is nice and round, nice and smooth, and then we're going to make sure that the back of that bead is nice and flush to that nail. And then once you are happy with the shape of your smile line, we are going to pop this in our lamp and we are going to cure it for 30 seconds. When we are creating our smile lines, we are trying to create a little wall so that our white can butt up to that, and so that everything will come out nice and crisp when we file it. And so we are going to cure that again, and then we are going to come in with a smaller bead of Innocent again, and we are going to place this right at the back, right at that cuticle area, and this is going to be the bead with which we build our apex. We are going to make sure the back of this nail is nice and flush to that natural nail. We're going to pat and press our product into those cuticles and make sure we have no gaps, and then we are just going to pull it down over our smile line. We're going to make sure it doesn't come over our lip, but that our lip is still there, so that we can file it into shape, and then we can butt our white up against it. So once you're happy with this piece, we're going to make sure we have our apex in there high enough, and we are going to cure it again in our lamp for 30 seconds. Once we have cured all of this, when it comes out of the lamp, we are going to wipe it off with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol just to remove that inhibition layer, and then we are going to come in with a 150 grit file. This stuff files like butter, it does not need to be a very abrasive file. This is a file that I have been using on myself for quite some time now. We are just going to file those lines of that smile. We're going to make sure it comes right up into those side walls, make sure it is as deep and smiley as it possibly can be, and then when we are happy that this is the shape we want, we're going to dust this off and then we're going to move on. Now here we are coming in with the colour Virgin. We're going to squeeze a little bit out and we're going to slice it off with our spatula. We're going to roll it right onto that nail bed exactly where that pink ends. We're going to do the same as we always do. We're going to take a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. If you get a bit of glitter in there, just remove it. There's no harm done. We're going to use our brush, we're going to wipe it off, and we're going to walk this nail putty right up into the corners of those smile lines. We don't want any gaps up there. We want this to be really sharp and really smiley. So first we are going to work on filling up those smile lines, making sure that everything is nice and flush up in those side walls, and then we will pattern press this white down into the free edge, and we're going to make sure it tapers down to a nice thin end. Now once we are happy with the shape of this nail, we are going to pop it into our lamp, and just because it is white I am going to cure this twice, so I am going to cure it for a minute in LED just to be on the safe side. Whites are always more pigmented than other colours, and so they may or may not take a little bit longer, but we always just want to be safe. We're just going to give that an extra little pinch on that free edge there just to make sure everything is nice and slender. We're going to keep wiping off this inhibition layer until there is no stickiness left at all, and then we are going to come in with our everyday filing routine. We are going to start by filing our free edge, and then we are going to come in and start filing our side walls. I'm going to file the side walls of the free edge first and make sure the shape is there that we want, and then we are going to file straight up and down into the side walls of that nail just to make sure that everything is completely and utterly flush down those sides. Everything we do to one side of the nail we will do to the other. Everything has to be symmetrical from side to side, so that's why we do this first, to make sure we have very straight lines and this nail is nice and flush down the side. Now once we have done our side walls, we are going to start in the middle at the cuticle, and we are going to file our apex into this nail. So we are going to tilt the file down at the cuticle into the cuticle, flatter over your apex, and then we are going to tilt it downwards towards the tip of this nail, just so that we get that lovely curve over that apex, and we taper this down into a nice thin nail at the end. Then we will come around the cuticles on both sides. We can do one side after the other, but whatever you do to one side you must do to the other. I'm going to file everything into shape. I'm going to file down the barrel of this nail and make sure everything rises very smoothly up into that apex, into that highest point. Once we are happy with our finished filing, we are going to take a nice soft sponge buffer and we are just going to remove any imperfections with this. You will find that there won't be many imperfections because this really does file so smoothly, it is unbelievable. And then once we are finished, we are going to come in with our home run top coat. We're going to apply a nice even layer from cuticle to free edge over this entire nail, and we are going to cure this in our lamp for 30 seconds. And once this nail comes out of the lamp, we are going to let it cool for a couple of seconds before we apply our cuticle oil, which is going to finish this off, nourish those cuticles and make sure everything is lovely and shiny. And that's it. Here we are. This is such an amazing product to work with. It is absolutely wonderful, and I really hope you guys have all enjoyed this. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you would like to stay tuned for some more videos, and you can also follow me on other kinds of social media. I really hope you guys have liked this one. I've really enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!